I had no idea he had come that close to me until I watched the video in slow motion. I was like, whoa, that was close.
A local trapper had a close call with a massive alligator in Wesley Chapel after he lost his grip. Well, tonight, watch the video to even take in everything that happened.
How big is it? It's a huge gator. It's huge. I don't have anything to get to her.
No matter how much you know of the wild, there are times when the unexpected happens, catching everyone by surprise. Stay tuned to witness close call moments caught on camera that no one would have believed otherwise. In May 2019, a Florida fisherman got the scare of his life while out fishing in the Everglades. All of a sudden, a huge alligator popped up and tried to chomp down on the fisherman's hand, but luckily missed by just a few inches. The man was understandably shocked and jumped away just in time. Although he was left sweating from the close call, he walked away with all his limbs intact and a catch in hand. If the alligator had made contact, that would have been way worse. Handoff. The fact that this guy was knee-deep dipped into a gator-infested water itself is quite insane. This man, with a recording phone on a tiny tripod, was so desperate to record the gator that was hidden underwater and was relaxing that he disturbed its peace to catch some action. In doing so, he wasn't prepared for the backlash. He should be grateful it wasn't his hand, despite him recklessly putting himself in a risky spot. 16-foot monster. You should never ignore safety, no matter how experienced you are, and this zookeeper learned that lesson the hard way. During a live show, a zookeeper with 30 years of experience sat on the back of a massive alligator. When another gator approached, he shifted to avoid it, but ended up in range of the first gator, which bit him on the thigh. Luckily, he managed to escape without severe injury. It was a reminder for him that even the experts need to stay sharp around wild animals. Tripod obstacle. In January 2023, a Florida photographer got more than he bargained for while setting up his tripod by the river, ready to capture some stunning gator shots. He was startled when a stealthy gator suddenly emerged from the water and charged at him. He managed to back off just in time, but his poor tripod took a beating. After spooking him off, the gator casually returned to the water, as if saying, "That's my turf." Foolishly close. An animal keeper in North Queensland, in order to put up a show, was dealing with a hungry wild crocodile in a way that could have made himself the snack.
Oh, wow.
Aside from the enclosure having incredibly poor safety standards, the man's reckless actions meant one wrong move could turn his show into a traumatic tragedy, which, if continued, would only have been a matter of time. Killer croc. Being in a swamp, this kayaker thought to have had a fish on the other end of his line, only to find out it was a killer croc instead. A wildlife lover had a plan of hitting two birds with one stone as he went out on a kayaking trip and also decided to go fishing. After relocating and dipping in the fishing line several times, he was almost convinced to be lucky enough to find a catch, only to learn quickly it was a giant croc instead. Biting force. A terrifying video captured a massive tiger shark giving a shocking surprise to an angler who was kayaking less than a mile off the coast of Oahu, Hawaii. He heard a whooshing sound moments before his GoPro recorded the shark crashing into and biting the kayak's side. The impact briefly knocked the kayak off balance, startling Haraguchi. Moose menace.
Dude, he's coming after you.
Moose are known for their aggression, and this was one wild encounter. A group of friends was mountain biking in Alaska when one spotted a sneaky moose in the bushes, ready to strike. He shouted a warning, but that moose was already in charge.
Dude, he's coming after you.
After spooking the bikers, the moose retreated into the woods, as if satisfied with its mischief. You never know what you'll encounter in the wilds of Alaska. Sometimes, even the moose are out for a bit of fun. Curious elephant. One of the very reasons why most animals on a safari trip never think twice about being aggressive towards the Jeep is because everyone on board is often mistaken to be one large being. Also, with the Jeep being somewhat the size of this elephant, it kept it from going completely haywire by keeping in doubt. And here's a funny one, just for some laughs. Bite test trauma. We all know Bratty Bar's fearless reputation with wild animals, but even he had to sprint for safety this time. He was testing a hippo's bite force and cleverly used a gauge inside a food bait. The first attempt didn't yield results, so he poked the hippo again. This time, the hippo was clearly annoyed and charged at him with jaws wide open.
Go, go, go! Go, Eric!
Bratty narrowly dodged a potential bite, inches away from the beast. Otherwise, he was about to find the biting force, but from his rear end. Trauma bonding.
Right up here to your right.
Regardless of what the situation might be, messing around with a large reptilian ambush predator is never a good idea. An angler was trying to remove his fishing line from the water and instead got an alligator whose weight, along with a powerful nudge, sent him tripping and falling into the water.
Right up here to your right.
The turn of events almost made him potential prey for the grabbing. Escape attempt. When the feline will and reflexes are at their peak, the length or depth of the wall suddenly turns irrelevant. At Brazil's Brasilia Zoo, a jaguar shocked visitors by attempting to climb its cage wall to escape. The incident, captured on video and going viral, highlighted the unpredictability of wild animals. The jaguar's impressive strength and agility allowed it to reach the visitor railing, prompting zoo security to take swift action. The zoo authorities are investigating the incident to prevent future occurrences and ensure visitor safety. Tiger jump. Certainly nothing would be scarier than an intelligent and ferocious adult tiger disappearing and then reappearing in a total and complete ambush. A large group of visitors that were taking an elephant ride experienced it all going south when an adult tiger ambushed the leading tour guide, and let's just say things went terribly wrong. Barely escape. If your house is in the middle of the woods, always keep your car doors shut. Who knows? A bear might just decide to take it for a spin. Look at this. A woman noticed her car door was wide open and went to close it. As she got closer, she was shocked to see a massive bear sitting in the driver's seat. Her screams startled the animal, which quickly ran off, allowing her to retreat to safety. Mini bodyguard. This is another case of a rhino who was just a baby, but was loyal enough to defend its mama. A group of veterinarians were attempting to treat the arthritis of an adult rhino after placing it unconscious, but the little one was so dedicated to safeguarding its mama that it started to charge them. Its attempts were rather adorable, being just a nudge for the vets. Another fool. Even the animals are tired of the shenanigans of these idiots. In Gwalior City of India, an engineering student, due to unknown reasons, jumped into the tiger enclosure, confronting the animal, who decided to keep its distance. The man then confidently took off his shirt, walking all over the area, and even danced in between before starting to meditate. He too, with some miracle, came out unscathed, but was taken out forcefully by the zoo officials. Thank goodness. Lethal fall. They sure saved themselves from a nasty fall. 3 wildlife enthusiasts were on a croc hunting adventure in a small boat. They were poking the water with their poles in search of their target, but the stealthy croc had some plans of its own. While they were focused in one direction, the croc snuck up from behind and rammed the boat hard enough to almost tip them into its waiting jaws. Miraculously, they managed to steady themselves just in time. Aggressive marker. Most animals are known to be territorial, but the agenda here of these sea lions was more hormonal. Visitors at the Lajala Cove cleared real quick when an aggressive male sea lion came charging from the waters towards the beach. During the mating season, their hormonal imbalance can be so great that they lose control over themselves.
Sea lion might be charging out of the water for a few different reasons. Sometimes we do see territorial behavior during mating season.
The best that one could do in such a situation is to give them personal space, much larger than normal. Mega appetite. You really don't want to come face to face with a tiger shark, because it'll give you quite the scare. A team of doctors set out to tag these apex predators for research, but got more than they bargained for. After tagging a massive tiger shark, they were ready to release it, when suddenly it lunged with jaws wide open. One doctor narrowly escaped becoming lunch. Definitely a close call with nature's toothy giant. Chilling encounter. Waking up to 2 hungry lions right outside your tent? That's a chilling thought, now isn't it? But an intense video showed just that. A camper facing a real-life nightmare as the predators relentlessly poked and prodded at his tent. Despite the flimsy fabric being the only thing between him and becoming dinner, the man boldly opened the tent door multiple times, taunting the lions further. Thankfully, after what felt like forever, the lions lost interest, and the camper could finally emerge safely into the open. Barely made off. An elephant is usually also referred to as a gentle giant due to its calm nature. On March 4th, 2024, a plantation laborer narrowly escaped a charging wild elephant, known locally as karate, that appeared chasing with rage. The laborer was attending to his work at an Areca farm as he then desperately was running for safety and even hid under a car, especially after having this close of a call. Another worker arrived, relieved to find him safe, before they went on to alert neighboring plantations. Filibert chaos. Even with a dose of tranquilizer, this tiger was still able to resist being outnumbered and captured. Farmers in India's Uttar Pradesh province, after having discovered a tiger running rampant, notified forest officials in detail. Despite having shot a tranq dart that slowed down the tiger, it still managed to dodge several attempts at covering its eyes or having to be caught in the net, even with the effort of a large group of catchers. Finally, they proceeded with using only a net blanket to immobilize, if not completely halt, the tiger. Wrong jump. Ever heard of living on the edge? This ex-Navy diver took it to the extreme. He wanted some epic shark photos, so his friend dangled him above the water with ropes. Just as the sharks appeared and he started snapping away, the rope loosened and dropped him dangerously close to the hungry jaws below. Thankfully, his friend pulled him back just in time. That was a close shave with nature. I hope he'll think twice before his next shark selfie. Almost shark food. Playing with fire or messing with the jaws both can cost your life. Two marine life experts were baiting a shark, but one very nearly made a fatal mistake. While on a closed ranch, they lured the shark close, and one of them tried to touch its nose. The shark snapped its jaws wide open, ready to attack, but the railing saved him just in time. Without that barrier, he would have been shark food for sure. He probably got the lesson not to touch the sharks improperly. Too close. Unlike the teddy bear that most of us may have clenched tightly, this bear's intentions are far from good. A wildlife enthusiast locked himself in a spherically shaped, hardened cage in polar bear territory to get face to face with one of the adult bears. With no surprise, the only thing that the bear had on its mind was to break this vending machine and score his effortless hunt. Scary jump. In Brazil, a massive anaconda leapt out of the water towards a tour guide on a boat, scaring passengers on the Araguaia River in Goiás. The guide, who had spotted the snake and was filming it for the tourists, captured the shocking moment on his camera. As the camera zoomed in on the coiled snake, it suddenly lunged and bit the guide. Fortunately, the green anaconda's bite didn't penetrate his skin, and he laughed off the incident. Dolphin against swimmers. Even animals that have the best of behaviors can sometimes be in a bad mood. Being on a holiday trip, a couple that were taking a dip noticed dolphins and decided to hang around with them. The dolphin that they approached, however, behaved in a rude manner, splashing water at them, which immediately made the wife leave. It even partially slapped the man with its tail while vigorously attempting to splash him. Meal snatcher. Spearfishing may produce results much faster than typical fishing practices, but it's got some serious drawbacks. This spearfishing diver, who moments after impaling a fish and grabbing it to take to the service, had a giant Goliath grouper ambush him and bite him while in the process of snatching away his catch. Instead of fighting back, the diver decided it would be pointless to lose a hand over a fish, which he could always find and catch another one. Fight to freedom. With a bunch of men running around here and there, you can't blame this dog for wanting to join in on the fun. A black dog made an appearance in the football field and started running around all over. Now, obviously, the match couldn't continue around the dog, and it was paused until it could be removed. Upon an interaction with one of the players, the very friendly and playful nature of the dog was observable until one of the guards attempted to detain it, dodging a nasty bite only by inches. Some tricks or treats would have done the job here. Scary nibble. However nice it might seem to experience feeding wild animals, the tables can turn any second. This young woman was enjoying feeding dozens of fish from her hand while being in the water, and wasn't seeking trouble for the fishes or herself, but she was also spoiling the habit of those fishes. In due time, a large fish ambushed the school of fish gathered around her hand, giving everyone a surprise. Close shave. If there's anyone you can't outrun or maneuver in a chase, it's mostly the entire list of animals in the feline family. And this is the reason why. Uno card. This cow learned no gratitude. Seriously. In Portugal, a cow got stuck between two trees, and two guys kindly tried to help it. One man lowered a branch to free it, but the cow didn't seem to get the memo. Instead, it charged right at him, knocking both helpers to the ground. Luckily, no one was seriously hurt, but geez, that cow sure had a funny way of showing its gratitude. Marlin jump. Fish might not be able to climb trees, but they sure can throw a ladder. 4 fishermen were struggling to reel in a massive blue marlin. As the marlin got closer, it went wild and leapt right onto the deck. In the chaos before splashing back into the ocean, it managed to knock a ladder straight into one guy's head. Quite a fishy smackdown. That marlin sure left a memorable mark. And next time, they'll duck and cover for sure. Uninvited horse. If you don't invite me to the bar, I'll just invite myself. In Paris, sports bar diners got the shock of their lives when a kicking horse barged in out of nowhere. It trotted through, kicking everything in sight, and it caused everyone to rush out for safety. It turns out the horse had escaped from a nearby stable. Luckily, no one was hurt, but it's safe to say that the horse made quite the entrance. Little charge. Don't you dare hold me like that! A man spotted a baby pig in the middle of the desert. He was all excited to show it to his wife, so he picked it up. But then the pig started squirming and squealing, so he had to put it back down. Instead of running away, that little pig charged at him in a fit of fury. It was a hilarious moment that the man and his wife couldn't stop laughing at, as that feisty pig finally made its grand exit. Big size trouble. 2 divers were filming a massive tuna underwater. The fish, seemingly curious, swam closer as if posing for the camera. One diver even dared to pet it, showing off like, that's how you do it. But suddenly, the tuna's mood flipped like a switch. It swung its tail and whacked the diver hard in the gut. The man was clearly shocked by his loyal tuna's betrayal and instinctively gave it a little push away. Even underwater, some fish have a feisty side. Corporate boar. This boar got so sick and tired of being called a wild boar that it decided to redirect its rage in the most meaningful way. Employees from a call center somewhere in India were left in a frenzy of fear when a boar entered their office space and was running around wrecking everything in its path. It's unclear how things ended up like this, but it almost seems like this boar had a serious query that needed to be resolved, or perhaps it just had a vendetta. 220 meters down. Internet cables don't always just randomly break for no reason. Sometimes they bait traps laid down. A diver that was working 220 meters underwater while being monitored by a remotely operated vehicle captured the moment where an aggressive swordfish came swinging at him. What could have been a swift and lethal encounter locked the aggressor's sharp snout in between the diver's equipment. Certainly, both must have been caught in an unexpected surprise. Entitled sea lion.
Oh!
You know what a gangster on the street or a thug underwater have in common? Both charge protection money. A group of kayakers were hanging out in open waters and fishing out decent-sized catches when they found themselves being interrupted by a pod of sea lions.
Hey! No!
In the manner of how it quickly jumped onto the kayak, demanding fish payment up front, it kind of seems like it's a regular behavior for them.
He wants my fish.
Now, it's not known for sure if it was fear or just the good heart of the kayaker, who let it feast on almost the entirety of his catch.
Don't bite me.
Heart-pounding chase. Instead of going for the vehicle, the wild elephant gave these 2 guys a motivation for a run. Though the elephant was able to catch up,
Why are you running?
And one of them lost balance and tripped. He was very fortunate enough that the elephant stopped pursuing them at that very moment. I can't begin to emphasize how immensely lucky this guy was. It's not the elephant's powerful legs that completely missed hitting him. It was that Grim Reaper's scythe. Make way for King. Gorillas on a regular basis may have to prove themselves amongst each other of who gets to be the dominant one. In this case, however, this one just let his size and the silence of the visitors speak volumes. All it had to do was pass by in total silence, with its way getting cleared.
Blue guy.
Mama Pig. Anyone who fails to understand and cherish motherly love is bound to learn about it the hard way. A livestock owner decided to pick on a baby piglet, which, upon its cries, the motherly instincts of its mama kicked in, sending the man into the quickest U-turn. Now, regardless of how much bigger, stronger, or outnumbering the oppressor might be, the distress call of the baby will always be answered by its mama. Dangerous walk.
Want to follow the track with the oh my word.
The very dried woodland grass of the wilderness is a source to ambush prey, as well as to hide from potential adversaries. A safari tour guide got out of his vehicle to stretch his legs, only to discover a pride of lions that appeared from the grass with their nap interrupted. Despite his years of experience in the wild with all kinds of animals, the old saying of, "You never know what's around the next corner," proved realistic. Drunken mistake. Yeah, now you may think why you guys have to watch this potato quality clip, but hey, this was a must-add, cause this guy tried to shake hands with a bunch of lions in a Hyderabad zoo. A laborer who was a bit too drunk on his off hours jumped into a lion enclosure while visiting the Nehru Zoo Park. He was heard singing to the lions and asking them to shake hands. Zookeepers quickly intervened by lowering a pole for him to climb out. Miraculously, he survived the ordeal. However, he had to spend the night in police custody, facing charges under the Wildlife Protection Act. Monkey Island. Honestly, I shouldn't have laughed at this, but come on, it was too funny to resist. Two kayakers were exploring near the jungle when suddenly two mischievous monkeys appeared out of nowhere. They seemed intent on giving those kayakers a guided tour of their jungle home by snatching one of their bags. The kayakers barely managed to escape from the unexpected monkey ambush. Quite the wild welcome to the jungle. Rampaging zebra.
What have we done now, guys?
This zebra just proved to the cops that he was not the average ass they were expecting. It bolted from an auction and strutted through the city streets like it owned the place. Police and auction workers teamed up, but this zebra wasn't playing nice. It gave him quite the runaround. Finally, they had to tranquilize it to bring the escapade to an end and return safely to its owners. Upon arrival, the zebra definitely made an entrance, as if to say, "I'm back, and I'm proud." Shutter breaker. Elephants are usually gentle giants, but when they're hungry, nothing can stop them. In a viral clip from West Bengal, an elephant calmly strolled through a village while the crowd of people was shouting, throwing things, and recording the spectacle. The beast stopped to shop and just charged right at it. In no time, it smashed the shutter, grabbed a bag of grain, and started chowing down. It didn't even care about the crazy scene around it. It just wanted to fill its belly. Darting gone wrong. Wildlife biologists often work in close quarters with the animals they study, but sometimes those animals get a little too close for comfort. In January, Arizona, some experts from the Arizona Game and Fish Department almost got raged by a mountain lion after tranquilizing it. A nerve-wracking video showed a biologist holding his ground in a narrow canyon as the big female cougar circled him menacingly. By the end of the clip, it was tough to decide what was more impressive, the lion's agility or the biologist's exceptional calmness. Mind presence. When you're in a sticky situation, keeping a cool head is key, and this little boy is a perfect example. He was completely absorbed in his phone and didn't notice the wide open door or the big leopard that quietly entered the room. When he finally spotted the big cat, he didn't panic. Instead, he waited for it to go deeper into the room, then calmly got up and locked the door, trapping the leopard inside. What a smart move! Brave in the wilderness. A hiker on an adventurous trek was nearing the peak when he faced a terrifying surprise. A black bear charged at him. With no chance of escape, the hiker had no choice but to confront the bear head on. He started kicking, hitting, and shouting at the bear. Remarkably, his brave and loud defense worked, and the bear changed its mind and retreated. It was a risky encounter, but the hiker's quick thinking saved him. Zebra costumes. Pranks can sometimes backfire, and this one here sure did. Two wildlife experts decided to pull a prank on zebras by donning a zebra costume and mingling with the herd. Now, whether the zebras recognized them or not was unclear, but they definitely caught the attention of some lions. Those lions got amused and curious and started tugging at their costume. Fortunately, the head of the dummy distracted the lions just long enough for them to make a hasty escape. Right beneath. In Thailand, a CCTV camera in a storeroom captured something insane. A lady went to investigate after she heard something fall, and she was shocked to find a black cobra slithering right under her feet. She narrowly missed stepping on it. At first, she didn't realize the danger, but when she turned around and saw the cobra, she freaked out and started yelling before getting out of there. It was such a close call. Open discussion. This picture and video was captured on the 5th of February 2018 by a GoPro camera of a tourist as he was rope swinging somewhere by the muddy waters in northern Australia. The plan of the tourist was to take a swing right into the water, not realizing he was being stalked by a crocodile until it confronted him. However, he was very lucky that this crocodile was only a juvenile, and he was able to walk out of the water with only minor cuts and bruises. Thank you very much for watching the video. Share in the comments, and do like the video and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.